Okay, we have less than 4 minutes to understand why racism persists in social studies curricula and to identify tools we can use to challenge and disrupt the whitewashing of history. What's wrong with this picture? American history continues to mythologize white supremacy and benevolence, so whites are often unable to connect contemporary racial issues and events to historical precedents. The ahistorical social studies standards fuels white people's lack of concern for historical accuracy or context on race and racism. So racism is kept alive through education, national holidays, and laws. The U.S. was conceived and built on property rights, fueled by an economic system that exploits resources and requires slave wages for sustainability. Racism is used to shift blame for white poverty onto people of color. Although the origins of CRT began in the law, today it is also used to understand how American history continues to teach a system of white over color supremacy that aligns with an exploitive economic system. CRT identifies the practice of color blindness and meritocracy, so whites feel no responsibility in the oppression of people of color while ignoring the power and the privilege of being white. African Americans are unique citizens in the U.S. They are property turned into citizens. Conversely, whites treat their white citizenship as valuable property. This property is so powerful that people who have it can deny its existence. Before CRT identified whites as the primary civil rights beneficiaries, Dr. King wrote in 1967 that the first passage of the civil rights laws was easy because it didn't cost white people anything and had no direct impact on their lives. Race and racism are central factors in the experience of people of color in the United States. Racism is a normal part of their lives, yet whites think laws are neutral and equal opportunity exists for everyone. Whites who are unable to recognize their privilege and place in a racist society lack racial stamina. A minimal amount of racial stress will trigger defensive emotions like anger, fear, and guilt. This is a white problem that can be solved through anti-racist education, and there are educational resources available. The Southern Poverty Law Center's Teaching Tolerance organization has created a framework for teaching American slavery. The New York Times organized an initiative to recognize the 400th anniversary of the beginning of American slavery. The project contains history and stories by Black academics, journalists, and writers. It contains excellent historical information. The late historian Howard Zinn taught a generation of educators how to teach history from the perspective of the people, not the leaders. Thankfully, his legacy continues with wonderful website of teaching materials. For the remainder of this teaching demonstration, you will work in small groups to create one research question and one learning objective involving either a unit on slavery or anti-racial education using one Connecticut 8th grade social studies standards. We will also use the key concept from the Southern Poverty Law Center's Teaching Hard History. The purpose of this activity is to practice developing an anti-racial curriculum that aligns with state standards. Thank you.